I met some rad folks, and one of those rad folks was an Australian guy, so I went to Australia that next, you could leave the chortle to yourself.
I didn't say anything.
Is that what that's called?
So many bad choices. That's what that's called.
Okay. Good to
on
know.
my part. Anyway, so yeah, I went to Australia for 3 weeks and hung out. He had a very lovely family and was very nice.
Found a weird hat for Patrick.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, we bought him one of the touristy cork hats that has corks hanging off of it. That's it looks like a bucket hat, but it has corks hanging.
Cork hat? What?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to
I don't
Google
know.
that. I don't
You really do.
It was wild.
Is it a thing? Do people
Yeah, it
have
helps with
cork
mosquitoes
hats?
or something, right?
Yeah, something, but it's very touristy because
All
I was
right, I
still
need
in
to
my
see
phase
it.
of I have to buy everyone I know a present when I travel.
So I told Lacey the story the other day about how you came back from Italy and how my mom picked you up at the airport, and you had I think you could for some reason you could only bring your book bag back or something.
Oh yeah, because
And you,
it was something stupid. Yeah.
I don't know how you weren't able to bring back luggage. Did you not take luggage?
Well, so I only took a little gym bag and then a backpack because I packed super super light.
For almost a month-long trip in
Almost
Italy?
a month, yeah. And then
How
I
did
cut
you
it
do
down.
that?
Well,
Well, I only wore one pair of shoes. This was before.
she wore chacos.
Yeah. And
Amy.
yeah. I was 20 years old and silly. So
I was working on it.
I was too.
anyway.
So
Okay.
she had we had gone to Forever 21 and she'd gotten this tan blazer and I was definitely on a blazer kick at the time. I'm sort of tiptoeing a little bit back into one right now, but not the same way. It's a different vibe now. It's my brand. But she had bought this blazer at Forever 21 and my mom picked her up at the airport and she was like, "Don't tell Maddie I had to throw my blazer away." Literally she had to chuck it in the trash can.
Yep.
My mom was cracking up. And it's just so funny because she was
because she knows you.
Yeah.
Also, there was a girl on that trip, and I will caveat this because you said Forever 21 and it reminded me of it, and I'm still salty about it. We were in Italy, and it was this class trip, and there was this bougie girl there who somebody said, "Oh, you can tell tourists because they dress a certain way, and don't do that." And she was she made a very ugly face at this local person who was giving her advice, and was like, "Oh yeah, we definitely just all brought our Forever 21 and we're just here and that's all we brought. That's the best we could bring." And literally, I'd spent money at Forever 21 to buy this fucking blazer, to buy other
That's
stuff.
rude, yeah.
So salty to this fucking day. Don't make comments like that if you don't know other people's situations.
Jamie,
Yeah.
did you wear chacos with that blazer?
Oh, she did.
I only took. What is the answer you want? I either wore the blazer and chacos, or I didn't wear shoes.
I would have rather you went
It's a
barefoot at that
vibe.
point.
It was
a
my
vibe.
brand at the time.
It unfortunately
Okay.
was her brand.
It was my brand.
There's actually a couple things in here from that trip. The Venetian mask is over there somewhere,
I brought that home. That was a bitch
And-
to pack back.
and your laptop case.
Oh yeah, my my 300 euro attaché case that I got conned into on the Rialto
she's
Bridge.
Are you joking?
No,
She's like, it's so luxurious.
300 euros?
girl, it was a fucked
What
up
is
time
that
of my
in
life.
US dollars?
I have not
That's
done the
almost
conversion
like-
for a reason.
It would be more.
It's like
No.
Okay, plug your ears,
$400
Jamie.
dollars.
Yeah.
It's probably a little over $400 at this
Shut
point.
the hell up. No
computer-
way.
for computer.
Where is it?
Right
Right
there.
there.
It's that leather bag.
It's a leather bag.
It's pretty.
Thank you.
I mean,
I mean,
it's
I use
actually,
it every
It's
day.
beautiful.
yeah.
I use it every day.
It looks like
so.
a briefcase.
Anyway, so that was the most of my
Get that money's worth, honey.
international travel. My husband and I went to Ireland, and that's where we got engaged.
Hey!
We got engaged at the Giant's Causeway.
Hey!
What else have we done? We've done some fun stuff. We've done a bunch of domestic travel other than that. So we went to San Francisco. We just came back from New Orleans. We go to Atlanta pretty frequently because we're close. Asheville is close. The beach is close. So we do a lot of Charleston's close. So we do a lot of travel, even when we can't internationally.
I guess
You
it's,
went into your whole travel history.
I guess it's a
You
good.
asked for a primer.
I guess it's a good spot to go to Atlanta or
Yep.
Savannah or Charleston. You kind of
Yeah.
in 3
It's
hours.
really close to the big metro, the mountains, the beach,
Yeah.
and Florida, which is Gators.
Yeah, I mean even St. Augustine. I think it's 4.5 hours. It's
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Ashlyn,
Well, I've been to all of those places, meaning
Woo woo.
Savannah, Florida.
Local places,
Yeah, local
domestic.
places. Domestic. But abroad, Jamie is more well-traveled than I am. But
I would argue that because you've been in one spot for, what is it, several weeks or several months?
Yeah, I lived in Ireland for like 4 months.
Yeah, see, to me, that's like real travel. Like, you really get embedded in the culture.
And you've gone back since.
Oh, yeah. So in college, I went on an extended study abroad trip. And it was like a fluid thing. So like we went from place to place to place. It wasn't like we stayed in one spot for too long. And we went all over Ireland. That was cool. Loved it. And then the same guy that did the trip ended up asking me to come back and do an internship when I graduated because he knew how much I loved it and how much I wanted to come back. So
that's wine, not peeing.
Yeah, that's
got to stop with that joke.
So why? It's a good joke.
So I ended up going to write for a travel magazine and do the marketing for it. And a small town called Manor Hamilton. Shout out to all my friends.
Friends of the
in
pod.
Manor Hamilton.
Look, I love Manor Hamilton. It's one of the best places in the world.
It definitely sounds like the name of a town in a show or movie.
It should be. It's hilarious. There's so much that goes on there. It's ridiculous. But anyway, so
it sounds like something that would air on PBS.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I should write a book of just about that town. So basically, I get there. And I'm expecting all these things that this man has promised me, that I would have my own room with my own bathroom and
don't
this
listen
and
to
that.
men's promises.
None
Girl,
of it's true.
I got there. He had hired all these Workaway volunteers to come work for him. Workaway is a program that you can sign up a yearly balance of like $50, and then you can go on the website and pick different places in the world you want to go live in, but you have to work to live there. So they either pay you or they just give you room and board.
It's cool.
And you can travel all over the world. And a lot of people do it within Europe who don't like speak English as their first language. So they'll go to places like Ireland or Scotland or England, and they'll work there so they can learn English.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thinking about like the accents that we heard all over the place, like that sounds like torture.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm a native English speaker, and I was already having trouble with some of those country accents.
Well, yeah, and that's what we did too, which is why I was like, why would you want to learn English from someone who has very, very heavily accented speech?
Well, and to them, it didn't matter. And like, it was weird because they would talk to me or speak to me in English, and they would be like, wait, what did you say? And I'm like, the same thing he said. And they would understand him. So it was cool.
And then we further like the American, what is it where all Americans get accused of it? The American stereotype where it's like we talk really loud and really slow. Like,
yeah.
God.
No, for real.
I talk really loud and really fast.
Yeah.
But that's just you as a person.
But
That's your brand.
That is my brand.
So I get there, and the house that I'm living in at that time had 12 volunteers living in it. It was a townhouse, okay? Mm-hmm. There were 3 bedrooms.
That's disrespectful.
My bedroom had 6 beds in it. Or no.
3 bunk beds?
2, 3, 4, no, 6. There
That's
were
a
6
health code
sets
violation?
of... It totally was. There were 6 sets of bunk beds.
6 sets of bunk beds or
No,
3 sets?
3
6
sets
mattresses?
with 6 mattresses,
Okay.
sorry.
I mean, like, it was just like lined up, like bed to bed. You just had to crawl over beds to get to
It
yours.
literally was, though. The room was probably just as big as this one we're in now, and there were 3 sets of bunk beds and 1 bathroom.
That seems like...
Sounds like summer camp.
It sounds
Or like-
It
unsanitary.
sounds like summer camp on steroids because we're all adults.
It
Yeah.
sounds unsanitary.
Sounds like
It
summer
was.
camp or like those crash pads that flight attendants have.
Yeah, that's what it was. But the guys' room, there were 2 beds, like actual beds, and then they lived there. And then there was another boys' room, and it had 3 sets of bunk beds in it.
Oh,
It was-
hell no.
No.
Yeah, it was crazy.
No.
And there were only 2 bathrooms in the whole place.
Oh, no.
Or no, there were
ma'am.
3, but 1 didn't work. Well, one of the showers didn't work. You had to go downstairs to shower if you were a guy.
This sounds so European.
It was so, like, I'm not even kidding you when I say I got there and I had so much culture shock that I cried and called my mom and told her I was coming home and I was using all of my money I had for the trip.
But that's not Irish culture, though. That's just like
European.
a sketchy
No, that's just
boss
yeah.
situation.
Oh,
That's
and-
not Ireland. That's just like people not like being honest with you.
And
Was
he
this-
wasn't, because then had a B&B next door that he ran, and he had a cottage that he
how
rented out to
convenient.
people.
Yeah.
So the B&B, guess who worked at it when they weren't writing and doing marketing for him? Me, with all the other people. And we were running a B&B, and we were also going to the cottage and having to plant things in the garden so that we could eat.
I was just like,
And he gave us €50 a day to live off of, and that
is
did
this
not change.
person still in business?
Yes.
How?
And I don't know. I reported
not-
him.
I was gonna say,
Because
has he not-
volunteer labor.
Well,
Well,
has he
I
not been
went-
reported is what I'm getting at.
I reported him, and I to a friend, because he would burn things, and like that's a big thing in Ireland is pollution, and he would burn
He would burn like trash and waste and stuff?
he would burn all of this trash from our house. He would collect it in the back
That's like
of a trailer.
illegal, even here.
Yeah. And then I told my school, the college I went to, I was like, do not use him anymore. And he called, because he messaged me on Facebook the other day.
Because he wanted to leave him a positive review on Google.
He did. He asked
something.
no, when I left, he straight up asked me to leave a good review
Give me 5 stars.
on his Airbnb page.
No,
and I was
maybe
like,
not.
no. I was like, okay, sure. And then I left and was like,
Oh my
not
God,
doing
I
it.
didn't even stay there, and I kind of want to go leave him a bad review right now.
He sucks. He's nice, but he sucks. I didn't even go visit him. His daughters are great. I love them. And they lived it next door too. But I didn't even say hey to him when I went to visit. But so this is what happened. I was really homesick, and I couldn't speak with the people that I lived with, and it was very hard. And we finally were able to communicate after a few weeks of being there, because obviously people's English got better. And I actually learned more Spanish and more French. German is very hard. It's really difficult.
Like famously, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. It was really hard.
Well, and that whole strange,
Fleming.
like, what you would call, I guess, a home situation kind of like spurred you to immerse yourself in
Yeah.
the local culture. Like, you made friends with locals, and
So I started out
it wasn't
by
necessarily a
going-
bad thing, but
No, it was awesome. So I actually started out by going to a writers group at a pub, and they closed the back of the pub, and then we met back there, and it was an American author, Michael Patrick McDonald, I think that's his name, and he was there to do a seminar to write with people. And so we went back there, and we did a writing workshop. It was a lot of fun. And I ended up staying in the pub that night and hanging out with people, and I made friends in the town. I literally was standing outside, and I looked at this girl named Tressa, and I said, I don't have any friends here. Do you want to be my friend? And that's how I made friends with
see,
Tressa.
not all bad.
we, like-
Good things come from that.
Can we go
kind of
down a rabbit
situation.
hole for 10 seconds? Like when you travel internationally, the first fucking 3 days are miserable.
Yeah.
Like miserable.
Just from like jet lag?
Absolutely.
Or...
jet lag, and then there's cultural shock if you're not in a place that speaks
See, I've
English.
been to Canada, but
And then you realize you're all alone.
That's just
Canada.
like nicer
Yeah,
version
that's
of
just-
America.
Yeah.
Then you realize you're all alone.
Yeah, and it's that is just a thing, and I think people don't
They
realize
romanticize
that
it.
because of the Instagram culture and
It's romanticized.
right, and everything's
is.
just romanticized on social media, and it's all beautiful, but it sucks. And then especially if you do you have realistic flights that are maybe overnight or maybe not the best or red eye,
Yeah.
and it sucks.
Well, yeah. And then, but I think the best part about my situation was that I lived with so many people from so many different countries that we all were forced to bond because we lived together, and we were forced to have dinner with each other every single night. We
That's
had to
fun.
we had to cook
That
with
will
each
make
other.
you a family real fast.
It will. We had to cook with each other, and then we
you bond over the trauma.
bonded. And so we did that, and then I was like, you know what? Because you know me, I'm the party girl. I'm like, let's go out, let's have fun, let's get out of this house. So I made everybody go out one night to a pub, and they got immersed into the town, and the town was all of a sudden who is this man that has this house? What is going on here? And it was
Why does he burn his trash?
It was so much fun though, and I can honestly say I have made lifelong friends around the world that if I called up today and said, "Hey, can I come stay with you?" they would be like, "Absolutely,
See,
my
not all
family
bad.
welcomes you."
Yeah.
I mean, Spain, Switzerland, Germany, France, England, America, Ireland. There you go, tons of places.
Do you guys want to take a quick break and then we'll come back and do your articles?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do that. We'll be right back after this break.
And And we're back. Ba-na-na-na-na-na.
And we're back. I've got to sound less like that.